you call me, I will with you. It's my pleasure to be with you. So my topic is investors' behavior with transaction cost oblique in implementation shortfall, that is IS. So first of all, we want to know what is transaction cost. So in simple terms, a transaction cost is any cost involved in making an economic transaction excluding the price of the transaction itself. So these are the additional costs associated with the implementation of investment decisions. Now, why do we need to measure transaction cost? If we want to measure the total performance of a portfolio, we need to show equal importance to the quality of the implementation as the decision itself. This is because the implementation of investment decision is not free and the associated transaction costs usually reduce portfolio return with limited potential to generate upside potential. They can turn high quality investment into moderately profitable investment or low quality investment into unprofitable investment. Now, what is implementation shortfall? Implementation shortfall is a commonly used fundamental approach to measure transaction cost. It is initially proposed by Perroll in 1988. It involves assessing the impact of trading on portfolio return by computing the difference between the net return on a paper portfolio and those on a real portfolio. Transaction cost will be hence referred to as implementation shortfall throughout this lecture. Components of implementation shortfall or transaction cost. The components of implementation shortfall can be divided into two categories: directly observable transaction cost and invisible or indirect component of transaction cost. The component in direct observable transaction cost include broker fee and commission, exchange fees, tax, and rebate. And the component in invisible indirect component or indirect component of transaction cost include bid-ask spread, investment delay cost, price appreciation cost, market impact cost, timing risk cost, and opportunity cost. Let us see what each of these individual component mean. That is meaning of this 10 component of transaction cost. First is the broker fee and commissions. These are the payment made to intermediaries, that is the broker dealer, for executing trades and corresponding services. These are commonly expected on a per share basis or based on total transaction value. Most of the time in basis point, that is BPS, and subject to volume discounted. Next, we have the exchange fee. These are the fees paid to trading venue for executing trades on their platform. They are usually bundled into brokerage commission for investors. These tend to vary from market to market. From study findings, it has been found that on average higher volume market have the lower cost. Now the taxes. Tax is a levy assessed based on realized earnings. These are the visible and variable transaction cost components. They are visible because tax rates or specific stamp duties are known in advance, but variable because they often vary by type of return or trade. Next is the rebate. These are a relatively new transaction cost component. Trading venue charges a user's fee using a state commission fee structure. A market taker model or taker maker model, these are payment made to the in a state commission model. Both parties are charged a fee for uses of the system. In the market taker model, the investor who posts liquidity
Sir?
yes.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you, but your slide is not changing, sir.
Okay.
Yes, now it's okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. In the market taker model, the investor who posts liquidity to provide with a rebate and the investor who take liquidity in change a fee, charge the fee. If an inverted or taker maker model, the investor posting liquidity in charge a fee, and investor who takes liquidity is provide with a rebate. That means if the investor gives the liquidity to his broker house or to his or her broker, then the broker will give him or her some rebate facilities. In the maker taker and taker maker model, the fee charged will be higher than the rebate provided to ensure that the trading venue will earn a profit. Brokers may or may not pass the component onto their client. If they do not pass through the component, the broker will pay the fees or collect the rebate for their own profit pool. Then we have the bid-ask spreads. Bid-ask spread is the difference between best offer and best bid price. These are charged with the intention to compensate the market maker for the risk associated with acquiring and holding an inventory while waiting to offset the position in the market. It is also intended to compensate for the risk potential of adverse selection or transaction with an informed investor. Spread represents the round-trip cost of transacting for a small order, for example, 100 shares lot, but do not accurately represent the round-trip cost of transacting blocks, for example, 10,000 shares. Now, investment delay cost. This cost represents the loss in investment value between the time the manager makes the investment decision and the time the order is released to the market. Manager who buy rising stock and sell falling stock will suffer a delay cost. Next is the price appreciation cost. This cost represents how the stock price could evolve in a market without any uncertainty that the natural price movement. They are also referred to as price trend, defeat, momentum, or alpha. Then the market impact cost. This represents the movement in the price of the stock caused by a particular trade or order. This is one of the most costly transaction cost component and always result in adverse price movement and a drag on performance. They normally occur due to the liquidity demand of the investor and the information content of the trade. Hence, the liquidity demand cost component refers to the situation where the investor wishing to buy or sell stock in the market are insufficient counterparties to complete the order. In this situation, investor will have to provide premium above the current price for buy order or discount their price for sell order to attract additional counterparties to complete the transactions. And the information content of the trade consists of inadvertently providing the market with signal to indicate the investor's buy-sell intention. Then the timing risk cost. This refers to uncertainty surrounding the estimated transaction cost and consists of three components: price volatility, liquidity risk, and parameter estimation error. Price volatility causes of underlying stock price to be either higher or lower than estimated value due to market movement and noise. Liquidity risk drive market impact cost due to fluctuation in the number of counterparties in the market. Estimation error is the standard error that is the uncertainty surrounding the market impact parameter. And finally, the opportunity cost. This is a measure of the foregone profit or avoided loss of not being able to transact the entire order, that is having unexecuted share at the end of the trading period. The main reason that opportunity cost may occur are adverse price movement and insufficient liquidity. First, if manager buy stock that are rising, they may cancel the unexecuted share of the order and the price become too expensive, resulting in a missing profit. Second, if manager cannot complete the order due to insufficient market liquidity, that is lack of counterparty participation, then the manager would again miss a profit opportunity for those unexecuted shares due to favorable price movement. So after a theoretical discussion about the 10 components of transaction cost, we can now let's look at a numerical experiment of transaction cost. Here is an example, and we try to calculate all the 10 components of transaction cost with this example, and finally calculate the total transaction cost, that is implementation shortfall. So let's consider a scenario where a manager decides to buy 100,000 shares of PQR company, where the shares of PQR is currently trading at $10. We denote this by PD. However, by the time the trader chooses a broker and submit the order to the market, the stock price has increased to $10.10, which we denote by P naught. Now, the broker has executed 85,000 shares, of which 20,000 shares at $10.20 per share, we denote it as P1. 40,000 shares at 10.30 shares, we denote it P2. And 25,000 shares at $10.40 per share, we denote it P3. That is, in different three prices, the broker executed 85,000 shares. The ending price of the stock for the day is $10.35 shares per share, denoted by PN. That is, at the end of the market, the price is $10.35, which we denote PN. The trader is able to purchase 85,000 shares in 3 consecutive trades, while remaining 15,000 shares could not be purchased, that is unexecuted. Since the cost of execution is related to the executed amount of shares, and cost of non-execution, which is also known as opportunity cost, is related to the remaining unpurchased shares, that is 15,000 shares. It comes from 100,000 shares minus 85,000 executed shares. Now we calculate the implementation shortfall for this example. According to the model, the implementation shortfall comprises of cost of execution and cost of non-execution. So we can write implementation shortfall equal to cost of execution plus opportunity cost, that is cost of non-execution, and some fixed components. We can rewrite this cost of execution equal to summation of xj within bracket pj minus pd. In this way, I think you can see the formula, and by using this formula, we can easily calculate the total implementation shortfall, that is $31,250 plus 2F. This is the total calculation of implementation shortfall. But if we want to split this total implementation shortfall by the 10 components of implementation shortfall, then we need to calculate the separately each component of implementation shortfall. Okay, here summation of xj is the total number of executed shares in different terms, different time. PD is the decision price, P naught is the order release price. I think I mentioned it earlier. The cost of execution, this is due to two factors: investment related cost sorry, I have a phone, so okay. Cost of execution, this is due to two factors: investment related cost and trading related cost. Cost of execution divided into two factors: investment related cost and trading related cost. Investment related cost arises during the investment decision phase. The trading related cost include costs that arises during implementation phase of the investment decision, that is time period from start of the trading to the end of the trading to complete the total desired quality. Trading related cost, TRCC, comprises the largest subset of transaction cost. As observed in the example, when the trader has decided to buy the stock, that is decision to invest, the price PD is $10. However, by the time order is placed, the price in the market has moved to P naught, that is $10.10. This gap in price needs to be considered as a part of cost, known as investment related cost, that is IRC, for not being able to execute the trade at the investment decision time price. Similarly, the trader is not able to complete all purchases at one price, that is P1. If order is filled in multiple prices, P1, P2 and P3 respectively, with different quantity, as it is observed in this example, trader incur additional cost known as trading related cost. This price gap at each trade from the original price is considered as added cost for the trader, which is not normally considered as part of the cost. Putting this analysis together, formally we can show the cost of execution as investment related cost plus trading related cost. Investment related cost and trading related cost. So this is the formula of investment related cost and this is the formula of trading related cost. And we can easily put the figure, that is P naught is 10.10, PD is 10, and XJ is our executed share. Sometimes it is by using this formula, investment related cost will be $8,500. But the trading related cost is $17,500 by using this formula. I think everybody can understand by this formula with the example mentioned earlier. In this way, we can easily calculate the price appreciation cost, timing risk cost, spread cost, market impact cost, trading, and the non-execution cost or opportunity cost. This is the formula of non-execution cost, and we can easily calculate the investment related opportunity cost, trading related opportunity cost, market close related opportunity cost. Okay, now combining all these components, our result is $31,250, which is equal to our earlier calculation. That is, initially we calculate the implementation shortfall, which is equal to $31,250, and our individual calculation and summation of this component, our result is also $31,250. Is it necessary to explain this individual component calculation? I think if you get the PPT or calculation figure, then everybody will understand how can we calculate the transaction cost. Okay. Now we try to calculate the transaction cost in basis point. The formula is total cost in amount divided by X into PD. Our total cost is $31,250, and basis X is 100,000 shares, and PD or decision price is $10 into 10 to the power 4. The answer is 312.50 basis point. In this way, we can one can easily calculate the total implementation shortfall. If he if he is not interested to know the individual component of this cost, then he or she can easily calculate this implementation shortfall, total implementation shortfall, by using this simple formula. The result will be the same, but if anybody want to know the depth of the cost, that is, or the component of each cost, then he or she can use this formula and find out the component of individual cost. These are the summary of the costs and the total is 31,250, and in basis point it is 312.50. All the cost will be converted in the basis point. The basis point calculation formula is the same in this slide, that is slide number 19. And in every implementation shortfall, we uses some F. F means fixed cost. The fixed costs are, the fixed component is commission, fees, rebate, and taxes. These are the fixed component of transaction cost. Everybody, this is visible to everyone, but the invisible part are very important for decision making or investment decision. Okay, now let's discuss a few trading behavior of investor examining the transaction cost. That is how investor behave if we consider the transaction cost as our decision making tools. For discussion this behavior, the real-time trading data of certain stocks of S&P 500 has been taken for 1 year period. Okay, the first measure is RPM. RPM or relative performance measure compare the average execution price of the trade to all market activity over the trading period. For a given trade, the RPM is the percentage of all activity in the market that traded at a price less favorable than its average execution price. And for a given trade, if the RPM is 0% to 20%, then we think the performance is poor, 20 to 40 fair, 40 to 60 average, 60 to 80 good, and RPM for 80% to 100% we can consider as excellent performance. Our target to find out the best time for transaction that lead to lower transaction cost and higher gain. Okay, now we have 734 trade within this time frame for a day. For a year, we see that because our data in US financial market, that is American Stock Exchange, so we know that the stock exchange start at 9:30 in USA and close at 4 p.m. that is 16 at 16. But some trades occur before 9:30 and after that trading period. So we now we see it is within the best RPM occur up to 9:30 is 71. 9:30 to 10, 243. 10 to 10:30, 61. If we divide the total trading period in half-hour interval, that is 9:30 to 10, 10 to 10:30, 10:30 to 11, 11 to 11:30. In this way, 15:30 to 16 and 16 an hour. So we can easily see from this table that 243 trades performance better at the time range 9:30 to 10. So we can easily decide we need to transact or invest our fund within 9:30 to 10 p.m. 10 a.m. That will give us the best performance, that is higher RPM. But if we want to know within this 30-minute break, which time is more better? Is it 9:31 or 9:59 or 9:55 or 9:52 or 9:40? Which time is better for us? The figure shows that if we divide this 243 frequency in 10 minutes interval, that is 9:30 to 9:40, then 9:40 to 9:50 and 9:50 to 10, the result comes 186 straight performance better between 9:30 to 9:40. So earlier time is better. But if we want to know or further know within this 10 minutes time frame, which time is better for us for investment by considering the transaction cost, then we try to split these 10 minutes with 10 interval. That is 9:30 to 31, 9:31 to 32, in this way, 9:39 to 9:40. By all of these 186 frequencies. Again, we see that in these 186 frequencies, the best performance frequency is 88, which is 9:30 to 9:31. That means earlier transaction is better for good performance or better RPM. One can divide this 9:30 to 9:31 in nanosecond or any other second, because the US trade market, they provide you the fraction of seconds. So we try to divide these things half-minute interval. So before we divide this 10 seconds interval, that is 9:30 to 9:30 10, 9:30 10 to 9:30 20. Again, we see that of these 88 frequency, the best performance lies on 9:30 to 9:30 10. That is, first 10 seconds is our best performance. If we divide this 10 seconds into 2 seconds interval, then again we see that first 2 seconds performance is better. Of these 56, 26 occurred within the first 2 seconds. Then we divide the first 2 seconds in 4 interval, that is half second interval. Again we see that 13 frequency of these 26 occurred in the first half second. So this shows that based on the frequency, one can infer that if anyone is able to execute within the first half minute, he or she will be get best performance. Again, I try to remember everybody that we use only 1 year data, but the data are nanosecond data. That is, every data to consider all types of transaction within this year for a broker house. So conclusion is, our target to find out the best time for transaction that lead to low transaction cost and higher gain. Based on the frequency, one can infer that if anyone is able to execute within first half minutes, she first half minutes, not first half second, she will be get best performance. Just now we completed the analysis of investment behavior with RPM, that is relative performance measure. Now we try to show the investor's behavior with transaction cost, that is implementation shortfall. From the transaction model discussed before, we saw how each component and its subcomponent can play a role in, but at the same time, he or she must analyze the impact of cost of aggressive trading versus passive trading. The trader also has to determine where the optimal trading price and quantity can be chosen in order to manage the overall cost of trading wisely. Trader must not only invest time and energy in researching stocks, but also in determining the optimal time, trading place, and quantity when making investment decision, and placing trades in the market. In short, the investor is able to calculate the transaction cost. If the investor is able to calculate the transaction cost properly, then he or she make decision regarding his investment more precisely. Let us consider two more behavior of investor where we try to find a particular time of the day and a particular phase of the year when transaction cost is lowest, which in turn maximize the gain. We first try to find the weekday on which investor get the lowest transaction cost with the maximized return. That means whether the Sunday transaction is favorable to us, that is opening day. In USA it is Monday. So it is the Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, which day is favorable to us for transactions. So we first try to find the weekday on which investor get the lowest transaction cost. That is, find out whether the Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, which day the transaction cost is lowest, which return our maximum return. Then we further divide the day into phases, that is, into 2 phases, 3 phases, 5 phases, 6 phases, 10, 20, 15 and 26, and finally into 30 phases. I want to show a paper in this regard. Okay, I will give you the paper for concluding these things. The answer is my PDF file visible to everyone or the PPT file? Which one?
Visible, sir.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
PDF visible?
Sir, the PPT is only visible.
Oh, the PPT only, okay. Okay, in this third behavior pattern, I mentioned earlier, that is, we want to find out the day. That is, whether the Monday is more profitable, that is, less implementation shortfall, or the other days, that is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Then, first of all, we try to find out the significance of the day. That is, we use t-test for this calculation, and table value and the calculated value shows which one is significant and hypothesis is accepted or rejected. The result shows that Wednesday is significant to us. Are finding that the significant positive relationship of Wednesday with the implementation shortfall at 5% level of significance than the rest of trading days. Positive implementation shortfall on Wednesday indicate that there are not many seller or supply on these trading days. Positive implementation shortfall on Wednesday indicate there are not many seller or supply on these trading days. As a result, transaction cost is higher on Wednesday than other trading days. It is only Wednesday the transaction cost is higher. It is an indication that market participation on Wednesday is low and more competitive than other trading days, so that the return is negative on Wednesday. The result is opposite to Kemas and Berumen 2001, Alango and Mackey 2008, but similar with the Srivan and Calavini 2013. But there is a negative relationship between Friday and implementation shortfall. That means if the trader invests on Friday, he will be perform better. That is, his or her implementation shortfall will be lower. There is a negative relationship between Friday and the implementation shortfall. So if the trader wish to gain more portfolio return, they should trade at first phase timing of Friday. It is the safest period for traders because inflation shortfall is lower at this period. The findings also match with Khandokar 2017, Kane and Steinbach 1984, and contrary to Amanullah and Sripalaju 2001. Question can be raised why the first phase timing of Friday is better period for trader. The answer would be in the Friday, the market liquidity is high because Friday is the closing day in USA. Because most of the trader as well as the market maker want to close their position before the weekend. Some investor want cash in hand before the weekend, and some close out their position because of avoiding the impact of weekend on the price of the stock. As a result, in Friday, bid-ask spread remain low because the trader who wish to close out the stock holding lower the ask price and increase their bid price. So we can conclusion for this behavior 3. Transaction cost measured by implementation shortfall is not only the fixed charge that the trader pays, but also the cost likely adverse selection, market liquidity, etc. are related. For getting best result in transaction cost, it is try to identify the best time, that is best hour, minute, and second of transaction, so that the transaction cost can be minimized and the return will maximize in the report. Implementation shortfall first introduced by Perold in his seminal paper and later extended by Wagner and Edward 1993, Kiesel 2006, and Khandekar, Via and Singh 2017 can adversely affect portfolio performance if it is not properly managed with the proper implementation strategy. The research tried to find out the particular consequence of implementation shortfall or traders trading decision. It reflects real trading decision of a sample of traders to examine the effect of implementation shortfall by the different market anomalies named day of week effect. The real-time trading data of certain stock of S&P 500 has been taken for 1 year period. We know these things. The key findings indicate the absence of renowned Monday effect. It indicates the significant positive relationship of Wednesday among the days with the implementation shortfall. However, the research finds significant positive relationship in earlier phase of the trading hour with implementation shortfall in every case, which implies that earlier implementation shortfall remain high. But it is not true for Friday because the study find out that at earlier trading hour of Friday, the relationship is negative, which indicates low transaction cost and high profit. So it is safest period for traders to trade in managing implementation shortfall. This study concludes that investors would be able to control the implementation shortfall if they would formulate their investment strategy according to the different phase transaction cost pattern observed in this strategy. Now behavior 4. Is it visible to everyone? Behavior 4
Yes, sir.
will give us the best performance. That is whether the January transaction is better for us or February or March or April. In this way, we try to test all the 12 months for decision making for the best performance. Then we try to find out if the month is, let us say the month is February, please give us the highest return. Then we try to find out within this February time of the month. We consider first 3 days and last 3 days is our turn of month. So in turn of the month, we try to calculate first 3 days of January and last 3 days of January, then first 3 days of February, last 3 days of February. In this way, we try to find out which turning period is better. That means minimum transaction cost, that is minimum implementation shortfall. We always apply t-test and allow 1%, 5%, or 10% level of significance. Also, we consider the R square. And the findings are We use their review software for our decision making. Okay. The month of the year effect, implement shortfall is positively influenced by trading in the month of April at 1% level of significance. That means it indicates that within this 12-month frame, April transition is better for us, for the data, by the data set. This clearly indicates that traders try to increase order after waiting 3 months of the year. Then they decide to trade in the month of April. Due to less seller or traders create a high bidding fear in the market. As a result, implementation shortfall rises. However, the research finds significant relationship half of the month effect, time of the month effect, turn of the month effect, week of the month effect, and quarter of the year effect in the S&P 500 index. Among the half of the month, first phase of January, second phase of March, and second phase of May have the positive effect of implementation shortfall at 10% level of significance. That means in these 3 phases, the implementation shortfall will be higher. And second phase of April, positive influence with 1% level of significance. Further, in the time of month effect, the result indicates that first phase of timing of January, March and April and second phase timing of April are positively related with the implementation shortfall than other phase of the timing. Implementation shortfall influenced by trading in first phase timing of April at 1% level of significance than other phase of timing. In the turn of the month effect, result indicates that at first 3 days of January and first 3 days of September has positive relationship with the implementation shortfall at 1% and 10% level of significance respectively. The result finds both have positive impact of implementation shortfall. But January first 3 days impact is more on implementation shortfall than other phase of timing. Traders make more order at first 3 days in January. They think at the beginning of the year there will be more seller and sufficient supply in the market. That's why they create more order and implementation shortfall rises. In the week of the month effect, the outcome indicates that first week of January, first week of March, and first week of April, along with second week of April, have positive effect on implementation shortfall than other months week at 1% level of significance. Now, among this positive impact means relationship between implementation shortfall and our depending variable. The first week of April has more impact on implementation shortfall. That means if we transact in the first week of April, then our transaction cost will be higher. At last, the research tried to explore the significant trading days from the significant weeks. The outcome shows 6th day of January first week. That means 6th day of January first week, 4th day of March first week, 6th day of April, and 6th day of April and second week respectively have positive relationship with implementation shortfall and 1% level of significance. The 4th day of April of second week of April has 5% level of significance of implementation shortfall. Okay, the conclusion is when we go for the quarterly analysis, the fourth and second quarter are significant for decision making. But in second quarter, if we go for second quarter, the implementation cost, there is a positive relationship between implementation cost and second quarter. And if we consider the fourth quarter, there is a negative relationship between the fourth quarter and implementation shortfall. That means if we transact in the fourth quarter, that is end of the year, then our implementation shortfall will be less. So in the mentioned report, the data collected and analysis are from a period of 1 year. However, it is possible to find behavior change of or a different behavior should if it be studied with data for more years. That means if we consider more data, then we can easily find out the more behavior of investor. But actual behavior depends on, I think, the other factors which we discussed in our behavioral finance previous lectures, and and we also discussed in the next lectures. But in this total lecture, we see that if we consider the RPM, that is relative performance measure, then earlier or aggressive transaction is better for us. But if we consider the implementation shortfall, that is absolute value or actual value of implementation shortfall, then fourth quarter transaction is better for us in behavior number 4. Here we analyze 4 types of behavior. The first behavior is by using the RPM, where they show that aggressive transaction is better. Then second behavior is which time is better for us. Third behavior is in which day we prefer for our investment, that is whether it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and the timing phase of the day, whether it is first phase, second phase, third phase, or any other. In our discussion, we split our total days up to 30 phases. That is, in every day we divide the total time frame in 30 phases, 26 phases. Try to slice in different phases to find out the proper phase of our investment. And in the behavior 4, we try to find out which month is favorable, which week is favorable, which turnout time is favorable, which quarter is favorable, and finally we conclude that fourth quarter or the time of December, November, and October, November, and December period is better for us for decision making with the analysis of investment implementation shortfall. But the dilemma remains: do we decide based on RPM or implementation shortfall? Because RPM says aggressive trading, implementation shortfall says relatively passive trading, that is try to transact in the last quarter of the year.